Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Sorry I'm about a minute late, but glad that we can catch up with one another tonight. We're continuing some coverage of the Madeline Soto case. Man, I've been on Maddie's case almost exclusively for about a month, and it just is the case that keeps on giving in terms of learning about maybe some of the red flags and the signs that we might see in our lives as people around us, as we observe people around us, because I think that there were plenty of red flags in this case. Let's just do a quick little recap. Madeline Soto was 13 years old when she died. She was last seen on February 26th of this year. Her body was found on March 1st. Dumped in a field near some bamboo trees, or I don't know if you call them trees. It was bamboo. And the story that her mother, Jen Soto, and her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, gave was that Stephen delivered Maddie to school that morning, February 26th, which was a Monday, and dropped her off a little bit of ways from the school because he said that she didn't like the hoopty that he drove. Whatever, okay. And then mom went to go pick her up that afternoon. Oops, got to put on the do not disturb. Mom goes to pick her up that afternoon, and Madeline is nowhere to be found. Okay. In the course of the investigation, 1,700 videos and images depicting the SA of little Madeline Soto were found on Stephen Stearns' digital devices. Well, specifically his Google account. And later on, he was found to be in possession of about 35,000 images depicting, they're called CSAM images, right? Images depicting the abuse of minors. He was later charged with her murder. So that's where we are on this case. Now, throughout this case, I think that, how do I want to say this? First off, I think that people always want to look for a motive. Why did somebody kill somebody else? And I think it's perfectly natural to look for a motive like that. I also know from my day job reporting on crimes for my local publication, I also know that motive really isn't part of a prosecution. Nobody cares what the motive is. But from a perspective of wanting to learn, I think we probably should care. Now, a lot of you who have watched my channel for a long time have repeated the rumor that has been around since forever that Maddie was pregnant. And we've even seen evidence that, there was pregnancy tests and so forth in the townhome that they all shared. But I didn't really want to go there. I didn't feel like it was necessary to know the motive. And I still don't believe that Maddie was indeed pregnant. One of my moderators, Bree, who also works over on Jay's channel, why am I blanking right now? Guilty of Crime, said that they even talked to members of Maddie's family who have been, in the know on this. And I just don't think that Maddie is pregnant based on those conversations. However, I do now think that Maddie thought she might be pregnant. And I also think that Maddie probably, after 5 years of being abused, to put it mildly, and I have to put it mildly for YouTube's sake, I think that she probably felt like there was a real relationship between her and her abuser. Okay. So what I want to do today is take a look at a couple of documents that were in the latest dump coming out of Florida. Now, there's one document that I wanted to bring up that I just realized I don't have up. So give me just 1 second while I grab this. I know exactly where it is. We showed it yesterday or day before yesterday. But I just want, oh, come on, where are you? There we are. Okay. Going to bring this up. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over basically 2 documents that are found in this latest 500-page dump. The first thing that caught my attention was this document right here, which I showed you guys day before yesterday. Happy day after Halloween, by the way, everybody. Happy November. Can't believe we're in November of the year already. But this caught my attention, and I went, wow, oh my goodness, what is this? Was this something that, I was asking myself, I know the answer now, but I was asking myself, is this something that Jen searched or Maddie searched or Stefan searched? I mean, what is this? And I found the answer in about page 19 of page 20 of a 28-page report from Detective Morris. Now, I think I'm going to start on page 19 though, just to kind of ease us in. So, all of the redactions that have been done here obviously have been done by authorities. I have not done any of these redactions. But just to kind of get into this document a little bit, we're not going to read tons here, though there's tons of information we get out of it. We're going to discuss this more than read here, guys. You won't have to hear me reading 28 pages, okay? All right. On March 7th, 2024 at approximately 1:07 p.m., Detective Madeline Soto and I contacted Redacted to conduct a follow-up interview. It appeared that Redacted was moving out of the residence she shared with, and I'm going to say that probably says Jennifer and Madeline. And we're talking about one of the roommates here. Okay. I wanted to confirm a timeline we had previously spoken about. She stated she got home from work on the 25th at approximately 11 to 11:30 p.m. I asked if she saw anyone when she got home, and she said no, but could hear people upstairs. And if I remember correctly, I can't remember which of the roommates this was, if this was Natalie or Angelica. I can't remember, but it was one of the roommates, okay? Asked her if she saw anybody when she got home but could hear people upstairs. I asked her if Jennifer's door was open, and she described it as being cracked open slightly. She stated she went to sleep at about 2:30 in the morning, which is she was hearing noises coming from Stefan's room. She described the noises as someone was putting stuff on a table, which in order for her to hear noises, it would have had to be significant based upon the noise, would have to travel through 2 closed doors and across a hallway. She stated if, let's say, Jennifer is awake, the television would be on or a light would be on in her room, which when she got home, neither were on, which led her to believe Jennifer was sleeping. She said she did see light on in Stefan's bedroom when she got home, again, about 11:30 at night. She said she woke up around 9:30 the next morning. She eventually went downstairs to make breakfast, and she saw Stefan. I think this was Angelica. I can't remember, though. She said Stefan was going in and out of the house and up and down the stairs. The next time she saw Stefan was around 1:30 p.m. to 2 o'clock p.m., and Stefan was washing clothes. I asked her about the sleeping arrangements, and she said all 3 of them would sleep together. They made a small space for Madeline to sleep in the living room, but she didn't like it, so she would sleep with Jennifer. I asked if she ever witnessed Stefan and Madeline go into Stefan's bedroom by themselves, and she said yes. She would be at the house when this occurred, or Jennifer would be at the house when this occurred. She said she had a conversation with Jennifer about Stefan and Madeline going into the room together, and Jennifer would tell her that Stefan would never harm Madeline, so she was okay with what was happening. Jennifer stated she had another conversation, the roommate stated she had another conversation with Jennifer about her sexual interactions or lack thereof with Stefan. I'm starting to think this was Natalie. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm going on and on about that. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. She said they didn't have sexual relations often, and that is why she didn't want to be with him any longer. When Stefan was told he had to move out of the house, Jennifer stated he was not happy. She did not appear to be upset with Stefan moving out of the house. I asked the roommate what Madeline's routine would be when she would wake up for school. She said Madeline would go to her portion of the living room and get dressed. She would eat breakfast, and Jennifer would let her sleep a little while longer before they left to school. She stated she has never seen Stefan take Madeline to school. I asked her how Madeline was, or Jennifer was acting for what happened. I don't know. She said Jennifer was bad and she couldn't believe this was happening. Over the next couple of weeks, I reviewed the cellular phone data that was extracted from Stefan, Jennifer, and Madeline's phones. Now, remember, over the last couple of videos, we've gone over a couple of warrants, right? One of those warrants was for the iCloud account connected to both Jennifer's phone and Madeline's phone. They wanted to get information about, all sorts of stuff, right? And your cell phone records so much, guys, that it's just, as lay people, non-detectives, non-lawyers, we probably have no idea just how much it is. But for example, my phone right now has a wireless battery on that. That is being logged. The moment I connected it to the wireless battery to the moment that I disconnected it, there are now at least 2 log points there. There's actually probably more than that. When I picked up the phone, it logged that I picked up the phone. It logs everything. And it's, I don't know. It's actually scary how much it grabs and how much it records and how much of that is available to law enforcement when they ask, they get a search warrant and get it. So, all right, again, this is Detective Morris. He's now saying he gave all of this little background about the roommate and the day that Madeline went missing, right? Now let's dig into the cell phones here. Bring you back over here. Okay, over the next couple of weeks, I reviewed the cell phone data that was extracted from all 3 phones. I think this is Madeline's phone, revealed the following. On 12/16/2023 at 12:47 a.m., Madeline sends a text message to Stefan that contained a photograph of 2 coins. The coins had the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. We looked at this printout, but also I can bring you over here. And this is the actual listing right here. Okay, so you guys can see it. They're designed to, I guess, fairly and equitably divide the chores when one has a newborn baby. This personally wouldn't have worked well for me at all. I'm glad that my wife and I had a different method that worked well. But anyway, you can see it's just a little $5 piece that I guess you can flip the coin when it's your turn or when you're finished your turn or however you want to use it. But it's a decision making little device. Okay. All right. Coming back over here. Madeline sends 2 follow-up texts to Stefan stating, "We need this and get it for us, please." A search of Amazon for these coins revealed these coins are for new parents, where one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to the fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, leads one to believe Madeline and Stefan had possibly spoken about conceiving a child. Now, let's pause there for a second because it's gonna change. We're gonna shift gears in this document. But I really love to hear what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to get to your comments. Remember, put a GF in the comments so that I know that you're talking to me. Like I said, there does not have to be a motive to murder. Okay. Somebody can murder without motive at all. And somebody can be convicted of first-degree murder with no motive. Well, it was just a couple weeks ago when I was covering the case for my day job that was proven out. That man was convicted. He had no motive. In fact, when in the closing arguments of the defense, they talked about the prosecution has never proven motive. And when the prosecutor got up there to give his closing argument, he said, I can't believe the defense attorney said that. He knows as well as I do that there doesn't have to be a motive in a murder. And in just a couple of minutes, when the judge gives her instructions to you, she is going to tell you the same thing. So anyway, maybe I'm a little too sensitive to this because it's been ingrained in my head for over the last year and a half covering so many murder cases in court. But having said that, maybe Stefan was getting, maybe they did believe that Madeline was pregnant. I hate to say that they were pregnant. That's the kind of thing that you say when a happy couple is expecting a baby, at least in my traditional way, I guess. But no, if they thought that Madeline was pregnant, that might be a reason for Stefan to be on edge. I mean, he had been abusing her allegedly for 5 years. And I believe it, by the way. I'm just saying allegedly because it hasn't been proven in court, but I believe it. He'd been abusing her since she was 8 years old. She had no idea what it meant. No understanding of what the abuse, one, that even she was being abused, and two, that of what it would mean to her long term. She didn't understand any of that. And it's very possible. I think it's probably probable that Madeline, after 5 years of suffering this abuse, believed that she was in a loving, caring relationship with Stefan Stearns, which is maybe one of the saddest things in this whole case, is not understanding the danger that she was in. And to maybe put a ribbon on that, you guys remember Brian Bennett, who was he was a guest here on my channel, just last week, talked about strangulation. We were talking about the Madeline Soto case. He sent me a video. It's a report of a Texas man who has been charged with murdering his wife who was pregnant. And one of the things that report said is that the number one cause of death for a pregnant woman is murder. Right? It's a very dangerous time if you're around predators. If you're around loving, caring people, it's not dangerous at all. It's a happy time. But when you're around predators, it's really dangerous. So it's possible that Stefan was getting concerned. He was getting scared. He was getting to the point where he might have felt like he was going to be caught. He was going to be found out. And he could have been a cornered, caged animal and lashed out. Now, I don't know that that's the truth of the matter. I have no idea. This really is Speculationville, but my intuition tells me that it probably wasn't that. My intuition tells me that it probably was like a spur of the moment, crime of passion kind of crime. Having said that, though, there is something in this document that leads me to believe that I am wrong there too. So, I mean, I'm sorry to be Mr. Waffle Guy playing both sides of the fence here. It actually seems like there are 4 sides to this fence, but it's just a complicated, difficult case. So, all right, let's get back over into Acrobat here. All right. So, detailed information about steps in the health application for the iPhone during the time frame between February 25th, 2024 at 11:30 p.m. and February 26th at 1600 hours. Now, I've read through this several times. I believe we're talking about Madeline's phone here. Okay. All right. Now remember, like if I have this in my pocket and I take a step, sorry, it's not on the thing. If I have this in my pocket and I take a step, it records there's an algorithm that decides what is a step and what isn't. But as that accelerometer detects different movements, it's detecting steps and it's logging them. Okay. And that is the case whether or not you have the health app on your iPhone. It logs these things. Okay. All right. On the 25th at 11:09 p.m., 9 steps taken. Okay. Now this is the time that I believe they were all hanging out in Jennifer's room. Little Miss Maddie. And then, I mean, I'm sorry. I just think he's a monster. I think that whether she wants to be or not, she is too. They're all in the room in Jennifer's room about that time. At 23:19, 31 steps are taken and 1 floor is climbed. Now, guys, these can detect through GPS altitude. So, and it can also detect like, oh, this is the type of step of going upstairs. But the GPS data also detects altitude. So at 11:19 p.m., she took 31 steps. She climbed 1 floor. She got 1 floor in elevation higher, which matched the time when Jennifer sent Madeline and Stefan upstairs to go to sleep, which we're all still shaking our heads about. The police are shaking their heads about. Everybody who even knows anything about this case just is doing the Captain Picard, right? It's like a meme. It's just so stupid. And I don't buy it at all. Okay. So then nothing happens between 11:19 p.m. when she goes upstairs and 7:05 a.m. when 113 steps are taken. To me, this is important. I'm gonna highlight that. Okay, dismiss that, and I want you to be in yellow. There we go. Okay. At 7:15 a.m., 50 steps are taken, and then nothing between 7:15 a.m. and 10:55 a.m. Now, you know the story about Madeline forgetting her phone. If these steps that were taken by Madeline, then that indicates to me that she had her phone on her person. It's possible, of course, that this phone was in the pocket of Stefan Stearns when these steps had been taken. Okay. At 10:55 a.m., the phone detects 8 steps, which is when Stefan is back at the residence. At 10:26, 2:26 at 2:37 p.m., 54 steps were taken, which is when Jen would be taking Madeline's phone to her when she left to pick her up from school. And then at 5:03 p.m. that night were the next steps that were counted. Okay. So let's do this next paragraph, then we'll talk, okay? I do believe that we're talking about Madeline's phone here. Yeah, because it's going to take her phone to go pick her up from school. So I'm certain we're talking about Madeline's phone here. Okay, Madeline's phone was plugged into charge between 11:38 p.m. on the 25th, and then it was unplugged from the charger at 7:04 a.m. on the 26th, which I guess corroborates the 7:05 113 steps thing. Okay. The phone is then powered off at 7:16. This pattern of Madeline's cellular phone use is not typical of her normal day, which shows this activity was not physically done by Madeline. And remember, this is a report. Hang on a second, guys. Still got this kind of scratchiness in my throat here. Sorry about that. Let me take a drink of water real quick. All right. Remember, this is a report. This isn't an affidavit. They're not trying to establish probable cause. This is Detective Morris writing a report for superiors and for the case, right? Okay. So the phone comes off the charger at 7:04 a.m. At 7:05 a.m., there are 113 steps. At 7:15 a.m., there are 50 steps. And at 7:16 a.m., the phone is powered off. I believe that Madeline Soto died between 7:04 and 7:16. And this is new for me because I had always kind of assumed that they were engaged in, obviously non-consensual because she was a minor. They were engaged in their sexual activity. He was R-wording her. I mean, it's that bad. I'm not trying to downplay it. It's YouTube. So they were engaged. I always assumed they were engaged in like sexual activity in the middle of the night. She starts to kind of fight back, and in the throes of passion, he strangles her to death. It's possible that that still happened. I mean, it's possible that he then like laid down and took a nap. It's possible. Decided to go to sleep with a dead body there. But I think it's more likely that she was not dead until sometime after 7:04, sometime before 7:16. I think that's the reason that it's in this report. Okay. So this pattern of Madeline's cellular phone use is not typical of her normal day, which shows this activity was not physically done by Madeline. So are they talking about that her cell phone use? Are they talking about the move? I don't know. I can't wait to read your comments here. So put them down below. Put a GF in there. I can't wait to read the what you guys are telling me. Okay. On the 26th at 10:55 a.m. is the next time Madeline's cellular phone is turned back on, which coincides with the 8 steps it moved at the same time. Stefan and Jennifer would have been the only people in the house at that time, and per Jennifer's statement, she was inside of her bedroom during this time and only saw Stefan when he was doing laundry. That may have been the roommate's statement. No, it was Jennifer. Anyway, okay. All right. Last thing that I'm going to read here is this little bit right here, and then we'll move on to your comments, okay? So we've read about Madeline's phone. We've read we've read about the texts, right? We've read about this guy right here. We've read about what happened with Madeline's phone. Now let's talk about Stefan's phone, okay? Upon reviewing Stefan's cellular phone download, the following was observed. On February 26th at 12:12 p.m., a factory reset was done on the phone. This can only be accomplished by navigating to the settings option in the phone, tapping General Management, swipe, and tap Reset. The tap Factory Data Reset, then review the information. Once reviewing the information is complete, swipe and tap Reset. If there is a password on the phone, at this time a person would have to enter their password. This shows that Stefan could not have accidentally reset his phone, as it has nothing to do with a phone update, as he stated during his previous statements made under oath. Another factory reset was done on Stefan's cell phone at midnight that night. So it's not just one factory reset like we have been told. It is 2 factory resets that have happened within a 12-hour period. Okay? This would be the time frame of his last statements to law enforcement before he drove Jennifer's car to St. Cloud. Also, on Stefan's cellular phone was over 1,000 images in a file named redacted in his photographs. Most of these photographs were sexually graphic in nature. These images will be described upon reviewing Stefan's Google account. Wow, I'm having such a hard time. Stefan's Google information. Now this is it. This is the next thing that is big to me. Okay, we are going to highlight this. Okay. Stefan also searches sevoflurane, and I'm sure I'm butchering the name of that drug, on 2 different dates, on February 12th, 2024 and February 14th, 2024. Remember, Madeline was killed on February 26th, so it was about, 12 days before. 2 weeks-ish. Okay. Sevoflurane is a volatile anesthetic that provides hypnosis, amnesia, analgesia, akinesia, and autonomic blockade during surgical and procedural interventions. Clinical uses include inhalational induction of general anesthesia in neonatal and pediatric patients secondary to IVs. Okay? This is the stuff. This is the stuff that they put a mask on you and tell you to breathe, right? It smells like bubblegum, smells like strawberries when you're going to have a surgery, specifically to children. Okay? Now, this, I don't know if this is apropos of anything, but many, many years ago, when I was still in my technological career, I had many clients that were surgical centers, several who were plastic surgeons. And I had one client who wanted to post videos on his website about the procedures that he had been doing. And so he hired me as his web developer to be the camera operator during I think it was two surgeries. And in that time, this is my only experience with an anesthesiologist. I don't have any friends that are anesthesiologists or nurse anesthetists or anything like that. This is my only experience. But the anesthesiologist and I would chat during the whole procedure because he has almost nothing to do during that procedure, right? The big part of his job is at the beginning and at the end. Anyway, we would chat, and he talked about how when he would bring people back to, one of the drugs that he would give them was something that would make them forget any pain that they experienced while they were under the knife, right? So, I mean, is it possible that Stefan Stearns had been using this drug to knock Madeline Soto out and make it so that she didn't remember? I don't know, guys, but I found that extremely suspicious. Even if he didn't, was he planning it? Was Madeline getting old enough that he was planning something with this drug? How one would get their hands on it, I have no idea. But maybe it's didn't even get to the planning stages. Maybe it's like the wishing stage of his sick predatory mind. I don't know. And I'm sorry, I normally try not to speculate tons, but this has just caused me to my mind to just tumble. Okay. So that's all I want to cover in this document so far today. A lot of the stuff that is in this document is stuff that we already know, is in other reports. So now would be the time that I think we're going to go ahead and head on over to your chats. And hopefully, I mean, it does look like you guys have been nice and busy in your chats. So let's just go here. All right. Tiffany, Krebs, Gavin, plot twist. Jen killed Maddie because she was jealous of her relationship with Stefan. That would be crazy, but isn't far-fetched. Well, what would prove or disprove that theory, Tiffany, might be Jennifer Soto's activity log on her phone, right? New here, Gavin, what does waffle mean? It means that I spend a lot of time not having made up my decision, waffling back and forth between two ideas. Just that's what I mean by that. Women's Warrior, possible Stockholm Syndrome so bad. Feels so sad for Maddie that she has suffered for so long. Her sense of norm was so clouded, which hints more towards Jennifer Soto knowing the comment running off together. Yeah, I think that she knew. Yep. Stefan had a Fitbit on. We covered that in a previous video. Let's see. I'm going to keep that one off. Let's see. Gavin, the word monster is an understatement. Yeah, I think that both Jen and Stefan are monsters in this one. GF, as hard as it is to believe, I think she was pregnant. It was likely confirmed the day Chris said Stefan was acting squirrely. So it's possible. And I haven't talked to anybody who would know. I certainly haven't seen any documentation yet. And I haven't finished going through this, so there might be other documentation in here out of these 501 pages. I haven't seen it yet. It's possible that she was pregnant, or it's possible that they just thought she was. Either way, it does conjure some imagination, right? Yeah. Okay, Thumper. Gavin, is it possible that the story that Maddie had a crush on a boy was completely a cover story? If they may have thought Maddie was pregnant, a crush was a cover story. Yeah, possible. Possible. Talking about, now, have you seen the Captain Picard, like, shaking his head, face palm? Like, maybe he was into asphyxia and took it too far. Yeah, possible he was. Gavin, what time was the dumpster vid, per favore? I don't know what time that dumpster vid was, but I think it was early, right? It was in the 7 o'clock hour. I think it was in the 7 o'clock hour. Tony, yep, I agree with you. Gavin, can you cross-reference steps from JS, SS, and MS? Yeah, they would be able to do that, and I will dig deeper into these documents, guys. And if I find anything new on what Jen's activity was and what Stefan's activity was, I will come back and report those things. But that's what I was talking about a couple nights ago. The whole idea of triangulating, like navigating an airplane, is triangulating two known points in order to find where you are, right? And that happens in police work as well, right? Triangulating the truth based on two known intersections, two known points that intersect, I guess. I don't know if that's a very good metaphor or not, but they probably can do that in order to determine whose steps they were. Like, for example, if Jen had both her phone and Maddie's phone in her pocket and the steps were identical or close, then maybe Jen was involved, right? Those are the kinds of things that they can do, which is pretty amazing. Oh, damn true crime. My initials are Deidre and Minor. I like it. So do you say DAM true crime addict? I don't know. It's pretty great. Okay, Gavin, if you listen to the March 1 interviews, the detective shot Jen down that Maddie often forgot her phone. He said report showed Maddie almost always had her phone with her, so it seems Jen was lying. I remember that very well, KJ. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's see. Let me keep going. Yeah, there are a couple of comments here, guys, that I'm just going to not put up because of YouTube, but I agree with what you're saying. And I think it's important what you're saying. Gavin, is it possible she was pretending to be pregnant or was mistaken? My ex's mom had to come to me and tell me she was lying. Yeah, totally possible. Totally possible. And honestly, like whether she was pregnant or thought she was pregnant, the result would be the same in her behavior, right? So from what I understand, family members have told other channels that she was not pregnant, but maybe she still thought she was. If that's the case, what about the noises the roommate heard at night, the tools? Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Do you believe that Jennifer knew Madeline wasn't at school that day and was playing a role in the ruse, or do you think it surprised her when Madeline wasn't there? Well, I guess that kind of boils down to whether or not I believe that Jennifer was either Madeline's assailant or a co-assailant. I kind of feel like, I guess the answer is I don't know, but I believe she did not know, and that she believed everything that Stefan told her. Gavin, do you think Maddie was strangled in the makeshift room downstairs or Jennifer Soto's room? I don't know. It could be all the way upstairs. The whole crock in Jennifer's room is an interesting little twist, an interesting little clue. Do I believe that? I would have to believe that Jen was involved in the murder, like the actual murder. I know she was culpable, or I believe she was culpable, but did she actually lay her hands on her daughter and help with the murder? I don't think so. So I kind of feel like it was in Stefan's room. Do you think Jen can be charged with neglect even if she's in a mental clinic? Yes, I do. Kayla says, I'm wondering if she was deceased in the early AM and then the steps from her phone could be an alarm going off and him turning it off. It's possible. Yep, totally possible. Janet says, wow, I never considered at 7 a.m., not sometime that night, that he unalived her. Yeah, I feel like the police are saying in that document that they believe that it happened in the morning, but I could be wrong on that. Let's see. Turning off Maddie's cell phone would silence the ringing of possible friends calling Maddie when she didn't arrive at school, and also no ringing of any roommate at the townhouse might hear. That true? Yep. So the phone was powered off before it was taken downstairs from his room because it never registered going back downstairs. Hey, Tempest Teacup. That is an excellent observation. And I think that probably goes to the murder happening in Stefan's room. It would at least point to that. It would indicate that to me anyway. Mooney gifted 5 memberships. Mooney, you are the best. Mooney's the OG, guys. Everybody give Mooney some love, okay? She's awesome. Don, Gavin, maybe I'm wrong, but didn't Stefan's mother say something about him being upset or agitated just before he went to Maddie's home on Sunday? I think he had just got off the phone. I don't remember that, Don. I can't say for sure. I don't remember that. Let's see. I just can't take it, Gavin. I got to survive and thrive. Maddie didn't get to grow or lash out or heal and grow. You never fully heal, but make a good effort. And an oubliette, I don't know what that is, would be too good for Stefan Stearns and Jen. Yeah, Maddie did have all the world ahead of her. She would have had to deal with a lot in overcoming, but certainly not fully healing, like you said, from her abuse. And I believe she could have with the proper amount of time. It's definitely sad. Debbie Brigham. So Gavin, so premeditated? Yeah, guys, let's talk about premeditation, okay? Under the law, there is no minimum time that must pass in order to prove premeditation or in order to say that premeditation happened. Premeditation can happen in an instant. Like in an instant, premeditation can happen. So that's why he's being charged with capital murder here, is that they believe that he did it with malice. He did it with malice aforethought. He wanted to kill her. And then he did kill her. And aforethought is the whole premeditation part of it, right? That it wasn't just it wasn't a second degree or a third degree murder. It was first degree murder. So did he premeditate it? Well, maybe you're bringing up the drugs. I mean, it's possible that it was in the planning forever. But if that were the case, then he just really sucks at planning. Maybe, I mean, just really, really badly sucks at planning. I don't know. LA says, Gavin, I think Seven Stearns powered the phone off and took it with him. When he returned, he powered it back on, possibly. Jen had left for her appointment before 10:55 a.m. Did she state she was home? Yeah, maybe he did take it with her. I don't know. Did she state she was home? I don't think so. I don't think we know what time he did laundry. Holy cow, Black Widower gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much for doing that. So terrific. You guys are so generous with one another. I deeply appreciate that. And you're supporting me so much. Let me just take a moment. Actually, Alice, and I'm sorry, let me see if I can get this over to here so we can see it a little bit better. It was said in the beginning that he reset it 2 times. Oh, I missed that then, Alice. I missed that. And thank you for the super chat. I thought that it was just the one time. So thank you for correcting me on that. Okay, while we're on the subject of you guys being generous with me and with each other, I just want to take a pause for a second, then we're going to get back in this, okay? You guys know that I am coming up close on 100,000 subscribers. Look at this. We're at 99,000 subscribers. I was really hoping that this would happen during our live stream today. That makes me so happy. Now, you remember that I got an ascot for my birthday. Do you guys remember this? I got an ascot for my birthday. In fact, I got 2 ascots for my birthday. I got the one that I'm wearing in this photo from my wife and little children. And then I got another ascot from my daughter, our middle daughter. So my plan is to dress up for my live stream once we reach 100,000 subscribers. And I need your help, guys, okay? This is the one in the photo. It's a handsome one. Handsome. I like it. And then this one is the one that I have not photographed, nor have I worn this one yet. But it is a shade of purple that matches the purple motif of our home. We live in a Victorian home, and they're all kind of these painted lady kind of things, right? So it has that motif. So I want to know from you guys, which one should I wear when we get to 100,000 subscribers? I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to dress up for it. I'm going to put on a nice suit. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys. Like, honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, thank you so much for your support. And your support means the world to me. The whole, I mean, you can support my channel in so many ways. You can watch my videos. You can comment on them. You can share them. You can join as a member. You can support me on Patreon. You can help my mods out by buying them a coffee. But all of it, I'm deeply, deeply touched and thankful that you guys would do that. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. While I've got you over here on the web browser, remember there's a link down in the description below. You can always go and see all the case file here on the website. Just go to gavinfish.com. Okay. All right. Let's bring Maddie back up. Let's bring this photo back up. Bring our comments back up. Thank you again, Alice, for that. I deeply appreciate it. Gavin says, Sweetie Brookshire. Jay from Guilty of Crime said, check you out. Here I am. Jay is awesome, and I'm glad you're here, sweetie. Appreciate it. Let's see. I'm going to just keep on scrolling here. Hopefully won't miss anything. All right. Jennifer asks, Gavin, is it possible that she was unalived Sunday night early morning due to her being sedated, and Stefan didn't realize it until the next morning when she didn't wake up? Possible. I mean, there's still the whole strangulation aspect of it, but if he was, we learned by talking with Brian Bennett that it really only takes about 4.5 pounds of pressure on your carotid artery over the course of not very long to lose consciousness, and not very much longer than that to lose your life. So yeah, I guess what you're saying, Jennifer, there is probably possible. Beach Fairy says, Gavin, I know the full autopsy report wasn't released, so we won't know from that. But if Maddie was pregnant, wouldn't there be an additional murder charge or something? Possibly. It's kind of a weird situation because our victim here is a juvenile. So I don't know. I don't know if they would wait to file that later, or if Florida even has that statute. Though it's Florida, it's a pretty conservative place. I imagine they would. Great question. I wish I had a better answer for you. What is it? Southwest 4x4. How did he get a hold of said medications? I don't know if he would. Foxy Amazon, nitrous oxide, and sevoflurane are very different. Yeah, I don't think nitrous oxide is designed to actually put you out, right? It's designed to make you loopy. Like at the dentist, you haven't passed out if you're on nitrous. You are technically what they call, I think they call that hazed. But yeah, I'm certainly not an anesthesiologist. I really don't know much about that. Okay. Gavin, do you think she was strangled downstairs in the makeshift bedroom? There's a puddle of something in front of Maddie's bed, possible vomit. Yeah, I'm not sure what that puddle is. I'm kind of thinking it's probably up in his room, based on your guys' comments here. Where would he even get that drug? I have no idea. Carlene, off topic, but just want to say how much I love those Tiffany glass windows. Yeah, you're welcome. Somebody in the comments a couple days ago said that it was reminiscent. My background is reminiscent of a funeral home, and I don't disagree at all. But in fact, there is a funeral home in a Victorian home like 2 blocks away from me. And our next door neighbor, their house at one time was a funeral home too. These big old houses, they use them for many different things. But it made me laugh. But yes, happy to share that stuff with you. And you guys, if you are on Facebook, man, where am I? I just got, it refreshed, guys. I think I'm going to miss out on a bunch of people's, sorry, I'm going to miss out on a bunch of your comments. Sorry about that. Maybe Stern's parents had that drug for the poodles that they bred. Maybe. We're almost there. Let's get to 100K. Well, I noticed you guys were kind of going crazy there for a second. Yeah, you guys, I appreciate it. You guys are so amazing. I mean, look at this. Look at this. So much fun. Holy criminy. You guys, I just don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. You guys are amazing. All right. Yep, we're getting so close. Okay, here's a question. Is it at all possible that Stefan Stearns was also drugging Jen Soto because she kept talking about her medications were doing things to her it's an excuse because I believe she knew about the abuse. Yeah, maybe. Gavin, we stay until it rolls over. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen during this live stream, guys. I mean, it would be fun if it did, but no, we're not. We're gonna keep going with your comments and questions because that's the part that I really love. All right. Let's see. PG says, Gavin, I think the tool noises could have come from adult toys that were in the room. Yeah, possible. Savannah said that she really thought that she was subscribed, but is now. I'm glad. Let's get Gavin to 1 million in this stream. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Okay. What is an ascot, Veronica? I can't put it on because I'm holding it back, but it's like a tie. Es una corbata grandota que se lleva debajo de su camiseta, tu camisa. That's what it is. Una corbata. Okay. Where'd we go? Okay. We have votes for the purple one. Lots of purple. Love the purple. The purple is royal. Purple. Okay. I think we love the purple. You guys, okay, I think we've decided it's going to have to be the purple one. And I'm excited for it because that is a fetching, dashing ascot. It's going to look great. It's going to look great, guys. All right. Let's see. Is my home on the historic registry? It is not. The part of my town that my home is in is. So I'm part of a group on the historic registry. Lots of purple. You guys are loving the purple. Hey, welcome new member, Sapphire. Glad you're here. Lots of purple. In the UK, ascot is a horse race and they are cravats. Yeah, you told me that last time, right? So an ascot is an actual horse race and a cravat is what I am holding here. I think in the United States, they are synonymous. They're both the same thing. And they have different styles of them as well. But it's not like I'm an expert at this. These are my first two that I've ever owned thanks to the love of my family. Moni, oh my goodness. Gavin, look at the numbers going wacky. Yeah, man. They are. You guys are crazy. Look at this. We're at 99, 155. That's pretty fun. Pretty fun indeed. Oh my goodness. It's just going to go crazy. All right. Pauline Buckles, thank you very much for that little super sticker. I appreciate that. Let's see. Everybody's saying purple. Oh, we finally got one blue. Big Grace 1980. Got me one blue. Let's see. Okay. Truman Show. Wow. Thank you very much, Truman Show. What if Stephen Stearns got mad at Jen because she stopped the sexual encounters and he did that to Maddie, but the text, I can't risk it, is probably because Jen knew she couldn't risk Maddie getting pregnant. Yeah. Ugh, the whole thing is just so sad, man. Like and subscribe, guppies. You guys are taking care of me. All right. Little old me says, I think he thought he could get away with it, but didn't plan it so well because he got used to manipulating Jen. I guess he didn't realize everyone else would fall for it. Great comment, little old me. Lots of purple hearts. You guys want the purple. Let's see. Purple for Maddie. I think yes. Okay, it's done. Zach says 100,000 will come on November 3rd at 10:19 a.m. Eastern. All right. Well, we'll keep our eye on it. Stefan was wearing a Fitbit. It's not the phone. Yeah. So you're right. But also when Stefan reset his phone, it didn't necessarily reset the data. So they might be able to get his phone data as well. And they have a warrant for the phone. Leslie gifted 5 memberships. So awesome. You guys, so many of these are way too self-congratulatory if I tell them. I don't have a smoking jacket. One, because I've never smoked. It's not been a thing for me. But they are rather dashing, right? What is the name of that band? I love that. Fire in the Disco. Dang it, why am I blanking on that band? Anyway, I kind of want to look like him. Maybe I shave my mustache down so it's a pencil mustache. I could wear a quilted smoking jacket with my cravat / ascot. It's funny. Let's see. New to the channel, welcome from down under. Glad you're here. And new subscriber from the UK here. Yes, Maddie was let down by everybody, and you vote purple. I think we are settled on purple. Do you all think the trial will be televised? Yeah, I do. It's Florida. Dang it. Now it is reloaded once again. And now I got back to it. We're good. He was comfortable enough to ask his father for drugs before Maddie's murder. Yeah, and they seem to be kind of one of those family take whatever was it was prescribed to me, but you need it. Preserve the Dead says, I'm a mortician, but not fortunate enough to have those beautiful windows. Well, thank you for your work, sir. That is a very important work that you do. Okay. You love the artwork. That photography, that is my photography, actually. That is in a town called Nitry in France. I was driving one day I think I started the day in Munich, but stopped over in Lucerne and then needed to be in Paris that night. And I fueled up in this little town called Nitry, and the doors were just a blast. So I spent an hour in town just taking pictures of doors. But thank you. That's a great compliment. I appreciate that. Jerry, Jen Soto said she left her bedroom door open because she had a cat. So awake at 7:30, Jen Soto didn't notice Stephen Stearns carrying a body past her bedroom. Most of the SA pics are on the first floor, Maddie's makeshift bedroom. How do we know that? I mean, it's probably in one of the documents. There's just so much that I've read here. I've probably forgotten more than I've read. Guys, we've been at it for a little over an hour, and I need to call it a day. So I'm going to go over here, make sure that I got everybody here. We've got new fanatics. So many of them. So grateful you guys are here. And a lot of you are here because of the gifts of others, right? It's pretty cool. Where was I? T. Larson. There we go. Rose, Diane, Kim, Heather, Black Widow. I think I covered this already, but thank you very much. I do. Let's see. Gavin, I think the coins are a legit item, but honestly, I think Maddie was thinking about them for the Tamagotchis that require attention and time. I honestly think it was a joke. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I'm just hypersensitive to it because it has been brought up a couple times, even by the detectives. But great comment. Mooney with those gifted memberships. Alice, thank you very much. Sapphire Duck, thank you very much. Also, as a member, Mooney gave more memberships. Pauline Buckles, thank you so much. Truman Show, thank you so much. I think I covered that one already. And then Leslie gifted memberships. Mia became a fanatic. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Thank you all. Should we do one more check-in? One more shameless plug to see where we are. We have grown so much during this live stream, and here we are at 99,186 subscribers. Maybe it will be on November 3rd at 10:19 a.m. that we reach 100,000. I'm so excited. And you know what? I'm sorry to be it just feels like I'm just plugging myself here, which I really shouldn't be doing. I'm not patting myself on the back on this. I just want you guys to know how grateful I am that you spend some time with me on these live streams. Right now we have over 3,000 people joining. We've got so many. What do we have? Over 1,000 likes, over almost 1,600 comments. And by the way, are my mods not the best ever? Autumn and Jamie, thank you so much for your hard work. It's not easy. You guys are just so awesome. Before we go, guys, if you go over to my website, click the support button and scroll down to the bottom. There's a button right here where you can support Autumn and Jamie by buying them a coffee. And I would invite you to do that if that's within the realm of possibility. They are so awesome. They do this voluntarily. This is all they get paid, and I'm so grateful for you guys for taking care of them. Also, when you're on my website, you click this little fishy right here. That'll take you to the fish tank. We've got about 2,700 members of the fish tank now. We talk about all sorts of things. Mostly right now, it's a lot of Madeline Soto because that is what we're doing. Oh, yeah, and did you guys see that Pastor, I have to do those air quotes, Pastor J.P. Miller, his home was raided by the FBI today. Ooh, so we're going to get into that. So, yeah, thank you so much. And join me over on the fish tank and have some fun with us. And yeah, so I won't be going live tomorrow or Sunday, but I will be back on Monday. I haven't quite set up a plan for what we're going to be doing next week, but we will be here all week next week. I am really, really happy that throughout the entire month of October, we did exactly one live stream every weekday in October. I have not missed a weekday since September 30th. And I think that's my plan moving forward, just trying really hard. There's a caveat. Yesterday was Halloween and I did not do one, but I did post a little video about our haunted house showing you our music room. So go over to the community tab and check out the haunted music room. All right. With that, guys, I will see you on Monday. I appreciate everything that you guys do for me and for one another and for victims like Maddie. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep growing this community. With that, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you Monday. Until then, take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.